everyone. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics in business, and hopefully we're going to relate it to life and health a little bit. But it's priorities or prioritization. So in businesses, a lot I will see people not prioritizing what they should do, and the only reason I know that is because I'm not good at it myself. So I've had to learn, and it's one of my favorite things to learn more about. Same with focus and perspective. So let's think about these two quotes. So Jim Rome talks about we can't afford to spend more time on small things any more than we cannot afford to spend less time on big things. So, and then the second quote is talking about, I forget who said it, but it was in Tools of Titans, if you want to look it up. And they talked about how a lion, if they eat every mouse or only feed on mice, they will slowly die because they're exceeding the energy that they need just to get that mouse, and then they're not going to replenish. Where if they go after the antelopes, they'll be well fed. They're taking in more than they're putting out. So the reason why I like both of those is if you think about Jim Rome, he's talking about you need to spend time on the larger things and stop spending time on the small things. And I like the way that quote's phrased, and then I like how they're talking about the elephant really needs to, or sorry, the lion needs to go after the antelope, right? So I think this, gets missed a lot in business. It definitely gets missed by me. So when I work with a lot of business leaders, or like even in real estate, I'll meet with sellers or buyers. They're not prioritizing what they want to do. So let's talk about a few things that a business might want to do and hopefully give you perspective. So if you want a client, right? Um, why do you want that client? Now, do you want more revenue? Do you want more sales? So there's two ways to look at it. So if you want a new client, that's fine. So you need to put in the effort going after new clients, and be careful of those tasks that are going to take away from that effort. So, and then before we dive too much into that, let's talk about, should you be increasing your revenue or sales for a current customer? Are you taking care of that current customer? Are you giving them the love and the attention? I love that. I'd rather that than trying to go find a new client. So we'll go back to the finding new clients. And when you're doing that, you're going to realize that there's a lot of other businesses and a lot of things out there that are grabbing your attention, saying, hey, you should do this, you should do that. You should launch a new social media, you should do a TikTok, you should put print advertising there, you need to put money into this, you need to have 5 websites. In reality, a lot of times I learned in real estate, that was a really cool thing that I took away from that, business, is like just pick up the phone or go meet with people to get a new customer. Nothing better is going to get your message across. Now I understand there is, website, there is a lot of online advertising that you can, cast a huge net. But I think it's very important that you're talking to people and you're meeting with people daily if you want new customers. Now, is that your priority? So we'll just talk about, if that is your priority, then you need to do that versus, going to pay a bill or running here because you got to go do this appointment, or something that you can easily delegate, automate, or eliminate. Now, that's the deal method. You can learn more about that, or I might talk about that in a different video. But, are you doing tasks that you can easily delegate? Just because you can do it and you're good at it doesn't mean you should be doing it. And then if it's a task that you can automate and you're spending time on it, think about what your competition's doing. So think about like a bill that you're paying. These big companies, they like to have huge accounting or like finance. That's what I'm good at. Arms, and maybe they're paying bills all manually or sending checks, and they could just be auto paying things that they're doing all the time or electronically. Or the next part of deal method is eliminate. Do you even need this? Do you need to even do this task? Does it relate to your priority? So that's where I like learning about daily. So I almost sit down and I look at my list and say, what is my priority? Am I working on that? Am I taking the easy way out? Am I doing the small task? Am I eating the mice, per se, with the line quote? Or am I spending more time on small things? And then I have no energy later in the day to do the big thing I should be doing, or I don't have any time to do the big things. Or even think about your mind frame. Like if you're working on the big important task, your mind frame is switched to that and you're solely focused on that, and then everything that you see throughout the day could help you. Maybe you see another connection to get a new customer, a new idea, versus if you're just working on a small task, you're focused. You can't do two things at once, and you're going to be focused on that small item. Um, and then again, I would very advise to look up the deal method. I love that. So looking at that, and then new versus old, I'll dive back into that. So if your goal is to get revenue or sales, are you going after new customers and forgetting your old ones? Are you not giving them the love and attention that should be? Are you not picking up the phone? Or are you not hosting events for them? Things like that. Um, and then, we already talked about marketing, but that's a big thing I see. Circling back to prioritizing. So I'll see businesses like just running all over, doing things that are not their priority. And it's very easy nowadays with the outside forces, yelling at you, should do this, you should do that. Again, it goes with the thing I talked about with focus. So almost having a not to do list. I think Tim Ferriss talks about that, and it's awesome. So your not to do list should be bigger than your to do list, and that helps out a lot. Actually, when I stress out, I use that quote and I think about what thing can I get done that'll make the rest of my list easier. That's my priority, and that's what I should be putting energy towards. What can I do to make everything easier? And again, with business, if you're solely lost and you don't know, like, are you trying to, you know, make a better net income, or you don't even know what to do in business. I was watching a video the other day, and the person didn't even know what to do. Well, they need to prioritize what they need to do, because right now they're taking in all this information from outside parties, and they're not prioritizing what they want to do. So that's a big thing. I'm not going to go that low level where if someone's like totally lost, maybe I'll expand on that in another video, but I want to more aim towards the people that, have a good career or good business going. They're just lost in the priorities and they're not focusing on that. So another thing we can even dive into is if you're an employee and you're mad because, say, you're not moving up in the company, you're not making more money. If that is your priority, like solely focus on that. So, how are you building up the team around you? How are you adding value to the company? And then I guarantee you'll move up, and that's your priority. So, some things will suffer in that time, and we could talk about, work-life balance another time, but think about if you're ready to dominate in business and really move up, either your employee or you want to expand your company, or you're like a badass company owner and you want to make that a priority of building up more, you're going to let other things fall off. And you'll see other employees or other people talk about, well, how come they're moving up? Like, that's not fair. I have, this to do. I have a doctor's appointment. I have family. I got to take care of, or I have kids and stuff like that. Well, that's your priority. So be happy with that. Be grateful that you have a family, you have kids. I don't have kids right now. So I'm able to like dominate in business and do other things. But you don't think I'm jealous and of the people that have kids? Like, I want to have kids soon. That's just not a priority for me. So I put that priority in the work, and I put it full effort into that and expanding. So making sure that whatever your priority is, you're happy with, and you're grateful for that. And I think it's not so much of just saying this is my priority, is, sticking to your guns. Like, this is my priority. I'm going to do or die, and this is it. I'm going to go, full force into that. And don't be looking around at other things. Those are not your priorities. Don't be jealous of other things going on. So dominate what you have. So I hope this helps you prioritize. I guarantee I'll be lost in a day and I'll need new priorities, or I'll come across another business owner. I see a lot in real estate, so I'll talk about that too. So a seller will want to sell a house, but then they're so focused on, hey, my Zillow only has 2 views, or my listing description is missing a period or something like that. When it's like, hey, our priority is supposed to be talking to as many people we can to sell a property. So I hope that's like a cool example. And I hope that helps. So if you have any questions or want me to expand on something, or you want a lesson of like, hey, I feel like I'm prioritizing wrong in business, or here's my goal, like what should my next step be, or like how can I utilize the deal method in business, let me know and I'll gladly answer. All right. Thanks, everyone.